Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. As we all have discussed asexual reproduction in part 1, in this video we'll be studying about sexual reproduction. So let's study what is sexual reproduction. Okay, so basically reproduction can be defined as the biological process of producing a new individual that are identical to parents. As we all have discussed in the last video that reproduction is a biological process which produces new offsprings that are identical to their parents. Sexual reproduction in humans involve two parents, as in asexual reproduction it is involvement of only a single parent. In case of sexual reproduction it involves two parents, that is the fusion of male and female gametes or reproductive cells from each parent. Both males and females have different reproductive systems, like we'll study now in detail. That is, males have testes, or we can also call it as testicles, while the females have a pair of ovaries. So let's study what is the importance of sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction brings large number of variations in the population, and these large number of variations are due to reshuffling of chromosomes and crossing over of genes. Next importance is variations are essential for competitiveness, adaptability and individuality. Sexual reproduction involves flow of genes among individuals. Let's study sexual reproduction in flowering plants in detail. So, as we all know, in flowering plants, flower is the reproductive unit among some plants. Okay, so the plants that have flowers as their reproductive unit are called angiosperms, and there are several parts of flowers, and those include petals, sepals, pistils. Pistil is a female reproductive organ and stamen is a male reproductive organ. So what are the female reproductive organs we'll see, and what are the male reproductive organs also we'll see. So male reproductive organs include stamens. As we can see in this diagram, there is a stamen. The stamens include anther as well as filament. So anther is basically a male reproductive organ which contains pollens. These pollens are male reproductive cells which will fertilize later with the ovules. And the next one is female reproductive organ. Female reproductive organ can be collectively called as pistils, which include ovary, ovules, style and stigma. So this is all about sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So in case of sexual reproduction in flowering plants, the pollens from the same plant or from the another plant will pass through the style and reach the ovary, where fertilization of the pollens as well as ovules take place. Next we'll study reproduction in human beings, and the first subtopic include female reproductive system. As we all can see in this diagram, there are various male reproductive organs, and those include seminal vesicles which is situated behind the bladder. Then we have vas deferens, then we have prostate gland, then through the urinary bladder urethra passes, and then we have penis, and then we have testicles. So we'll study these parts in detail now. Basically, male reproductive system consists of testicles, also called as testis, scrotum, vas deferens, seminal vesicles, urethra and penis. So testicles are nothing but they are pair of oval shaped organs. As we all can see, they are oval shaped organs that are embedded in the sac-like structure, or it is sac-like organ called scrotum, which is responsible. These testicles are responsible for production of sperms, and also testicles also produce male hormone called testosterone. So the next part of the male reproductive system is scrotum. Scrotum is nothing but sac-like organ which is situated behind the penis that holds the testis, and also the scrotum maintains the temperature which is required for the production of sperms. And the next part is vas deferens. Vas deferens is nothing but it's a tube-like structure wherein the sperms will pass through the epididymis and then they'll reach seminal vesicles. Then through seminal vesicles via urethra the sperms are released through penis. So next is seminal vesicles. As we all know, seminal vesicles are pair of small tabulated sacs which are located at the base of urinary bladder. These seminal vesicles plays a major role in the production of a viscous fluid, that is semen. This semen will nourish the sperm. Next we have urethra. Urethra is a tube that arises from urinary bladder. And the last part we have is penis. Penis transfers sperms to female reproductive tract. And the next is female reproductive system. As we all can see here in this diagram, we have uterus, fundus, fallopian tubes, ovary. Within the ovary we can see ovum, and then we can see cervix, and the last is vagina. So this ovary is surrounded by 3 layers, that is myometrium, endometrium and perimetrium. Endometrium is the innermost lining of the uterus. This ovary is connected to the uterus with the help of a ligament called ovarian ligament, and it is also connected to fimbriae. These are finger-like structures that holds the ovary intact. Basically, female reproductive system consists of various parts or organs, I must say, that is uterus, ovaries, fallopian tube, vagina. Uterus is the pear-shaped hollow muscular organ. As we can see, it is hollow muscular organ which is surrounded by 3 layers, that is endometrium, myometrium and perimetrium, in which endometrium is the innermost layer. This uterus protects and supports the developing fetus, and this uterus is also involved in menstrual cycle, wherein the innermost layer endometrium breaks out along with the ovum during menstrual cycle. Next organ we have ovaries. Ovaries lies on either side of the uterus and they are connected to uterus through ovarian ligament as well as fimbriae. And each ovary is 3 cm in long. Ovaries function to produce egg, also some hormones called estrogen and progesterone. Next we have fallopian tubes. The fallopian tube itself says it is tubular-like structure. These are tubes that are attached to uterus, one on each side, and each tube is about 10 to 12 cm long, and these fallopian tubes provide passage to the eggs to pass to the uterus. Basically, when the ovulation takes place, the mature ovum is released through the ovary and then it travels to the fallopian tube and then it reaches to the uterus. And then last we have vagina. It is a short muscular tube. It's a short wide muscular tube which is about 9 cm long and it is lined by highly folded epithelial layer. So basically, in case of human reproduction, when the sperms reach the uterus and it fertilizes with ovary to form a zygote then develops into embryo, after which implantation of the embryo takes place and then a female can become pregnant. So what happens if a sperm is not fertilized with the ovary? When a sperm is not fertilized with ovary, then ovaries will wait for for few days, then it will shed off through the innermost layer of the uterus, that is along with the endometrium. It will just come out as blood along with some waste as well as endometrium layer, which we call as menstrual blood, and this cycle is called menstrual cycle. Last part of this chapter is differences between asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So, as we all know, it's a basic definition that asexual reproduction occurs without the fusion of male and female gametes, meaning only a single parent is involved and there is no fusion of male and female gametes. Whereas in case of sexual reproduction occurs with the fusion of male and female gametes, that obviously two parents are involved of different sex. Let's come to asexual reproduction again. In asexual reproduction, gametes are not involved. In contrast to sexual reproduction, gametes are involved. Male and female gametes are involved to form a new offspring. Next, asexual reproduction. In case of asexual reproduction, no genetic diversity is introduced because there is only involvement of single parent and no such genetic diversity is involved or it is introduced. Whereas in case of sexual reproduction, genetic diversity is introduced because two genes, basically two parents are involved, and obviously there is some genetic diversity. Next is asexual reproduction. Organisms does not possess specialized reproductive organs. We all have studied in asexual reproduction there are no specialized reproductive organs. Whereas in case of sexual reproduction, organisms do possess specialized reproductive organs. We have studied in male reproductive system there are different reproductive organs like testicles, seminal vesicles, etc. And in case of female reproductive system, we also have studied female reproductive organs like ovaries, uterus, fallopian tubes, vagina, cervix, etc. And in case of asexual reproduction, the offspring that are formed are genetically identical to their parent. Whereas in case of sexual reproduction, the offsprings that are formed by the fusion of male and female gametes are genetically as well as physically different from their parents. The examples of organisms which will take place through asexual reproduction is bacteria, fungi, lizards, and in case of asexual reproduction, humans and some other mammals. Also, some plants will reproduce through sexual reproduction. So this is all about sexual reproduction. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.